Welcome to TJ's podcast.
Hello, TJ Fanaticos. Welcome. I don't have to say welcome because the big voice guy already said it. So why am I saying it again? Because I'm stupid. Dang it. Riggins, I was just telling Riggins that I tried to get our friend Cubby to be on today, but he couldn't do it. He had, he busy. He's got other stuff coming on, but I wanted to bring him on to tell him. I thought of a celebrity that I want to have as an interview and find out if he could get the information to get the guy on. But I guess I could have told him that in a text rather than have him on and tell him. Yeah. So he could still, I could still communicate with him, and maybe he would have time to reach out. But I want to talk to that Mr. Beast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. Mr. Beast is a YouTube star. He's one of the most successful social media influencer people in the history of social media. And he uses a lot of his money, all of his money, for fun things. He doesn't mess with people. There's nothing controversial about it. He just does fun things. And he lives in North Carolina where we live, and I'm assuming that he grew up a fan of the Ace and TJ show because he's from the Bob 93.3 area. So we've been on the radio for a long time, and anybody who's anybody listens to the Ace and TJ show religiously on Bob 93.3. So yeah, I would be interested in talking to him.
Yeah, so what is the Cubby connection?
Because Cubby is so good at tracking down celebrities and making contact with them. He's got all those, like he's invited to Jennifer Lopez's white party that time when he said, what do you think about big people in white pants? I mean, he was going to her birthday party or something.
Yeah.
So he's always full of that kind of stuff. He loves celebrities.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter whether he likes their work or what he thinks of them personally. If they're famous, he wants to meet him and have his picture taken with him. He wants a connection to him.
And the celebrities seem to really enjoy being around him.
Yeah. I mean, what's not to enjoy? He's humble and fun and funny and, lovable. He's lovable.
He is.
Very lovable.
My mom loves Cubby.
Yeah.
Even she'll bring him up all the time. Have you talked to Cubby? I go, not really. How's he doing? And then I mentioned that to Cubby one time, and now every time I see him, he's like, how's your mom doing? He's like real sweet like that.
Mm-hmm. And I know that he's going through some things, like his dad's sick and all. And one of the things that Cubby loves the most in life is going to eat with somebody. Yeah. Whether it's dinner, whether it's lunch, whatever. And I don't think he's had time for a lot of that. So I guess I could take him food, like a what do you call it? The Meals on Wheels thing. But he's lost all that weight. He's been dieting for so long. Do you think there's a chance he could lose a comedy step from losing all that weight?
I think every celebrity that when they do that's always the question. Are they still going to be the same? They've done it with especially comedians, or comedic actors.
Well, that's one of the things that caused Chris Farley to kill himself.
Because he knew
he didn't like being fat. He was always ashamed and got made fun of, but he turned it into comedy. Yeah. And then he would say, I'm just the funny fat guy, and if I wasn't fat, nobody would like me because I wouldn't be funny anymore, and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying Cubby's going to be like that.
No. And it's a good move overall. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, it's good to be...
What, lose weight?
Yeah.
Jury's still out on that. Yeah, because Mike from Mike and Molly is not nearly as funny on Bob Loves Abishola. Bob Hearts Abishola, since he got skinny. He's an Ozempian.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah. You didn't know that was the same dude? Uh-huh.
This is Billy something?
I don't know his name. Billy Gardell's. But he lost so much weight, he's now one Gardell. No, I don't know. I don't know whether he's funny on Bob Hearts Abishola or not, because I've never seen 1 minute of it, because it didn't look like something that would be funny.
Yeah, I got a feeling Bob Loves Abishola was still pretty unfunny when he was fat, too.
But yeah, he's one of the first Ozempians. He's been doing the commercials for a long time because of his diabetes.
Yeah, he's good.
That was before they made it, where people started taking it just to lose weight. He was using it for diabetes. Mm-hmm. But they talk about all the side effects of Ozempic and those types of drugs. Do the side effects not hit people who are using it for diabetes? It's only when they're using it to lose weight.
I don't know that. Like the stomach cramping and the...
Yeah. And what was that one thing we heard about that day? It was like constant diarrhea or something that somebody was experiencing.
A lot of that, they all seem to revolve around gut health.
Yeah.
I have no symptoms.
Rob, you say you have no symptoms?
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Okay. Rob uses it.
Oh, we gotta rob him. Like Rob. I want it. I
Oh,
want to try. You have it? I kind of forgot that.
yeah, and it's you take it for what do they call it? Pre-diabetes or something? Yeah. But anybody who doesn't have diabetes is pre-diabetic.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody who doesn't have cancer is precancerous.
Yeah. Would you sell us some?
it's a lot.
Yeah, it costs a lot. But I don't know if it doesn't affect people. I mean, before they started using it as a weight loss drug, were the people taking it for diabetes having these same reported side effects? I wonder.
I don't know. But I've got diarrhea all the time anyway.
Yeah, what do you carry?
I don't care.
Does it hurt though? Does your stomach cramp and then you have diarrhea, or you just have diarrhea? You just have loose stool.
Yeah. I would not refer to it as loose stool. That's how I call it with my dog. When my dog, it's just loose stool.
Because that's a difference in diarrhea and loose stool, right?
Yeah, it's probably more loose stool.
How loose we talking? Okay, I'm kidding. I don't know about your stool. So yesterday was Bible study day for my wife. She has a group of women that get together every Tuesday, and it's for a couple hours. They do a Bible study in one of them's house, which is great. I mean, my wife grew up Methodist, and her parents always took her to church, but there wasn't a whole lot of, like, if you're a little kid going to a Baptist church like I did, a Southern Baptist church, you have Bible studies and Bible school and all of that kind of stuff. But she didn't learn all that growing up, because I guess in the Methodist church where she went, or in Methodist in general, I don't think really have a lot of focus on learning the Bible the way others do. I know Catholics do too.
Yeah.
Learning the Bible. So this is a good thing that she's doing. But she came in yesterday and she had her phone and she goes, "I want to play something for you that we had at Bible study." And it was a video, and I could hear her trying to get to the part, and it would play, and I'm focused on something else, and I'm kind of hearing it out of one ear, and she's in the kitchen trying to find it. I'm like, what is she doing? She goes, "Okay, here it is." And she comes over and sits down and turns her volume of her phone up and starts playing a clip from Joe Rogan's podcast. And it's Joe Rogan and Kid Rock, and they're cussing, and I know I heard one of them mention something about the beer that they were drinking at the time, and it sounded like two guys who've been smoking weed philosophizing to each other and laughing and having. And I'm like, what does this have to do with the Bible study? And what it was is that they got into a discussion about Jesus, and Kid Rock was talking about Jesus being real and Jesus in his life, and all of this stuff. And Joe Rogan was kind of condescending back to him about Jesus not being real. I want to believe he's real for your sake, that kind of thing. So that they used Kid Rock on the Joe Rogan Experience as part of their Bible lesson.
They're just sitting around listening to it.
And the clip was about 5-6 minutes long. And I mean, they're just cussing, and you can hear it. I don't know if they had been smoking weed before this, but it's what it reminded me of.
Like
Two old boys just sitting around high, talking about the Lord, man. I mean, but it was really good. I mean, the point was is that Kid Rock, didn't back down and, Joe Rogan would say, I mean, if Jesus is real, and then he'd go, he is?
Yeah.
He is. But I just picture these women in their 50s sitting around, just glued to Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah.
Everything is effing this, effing that. Yeah.
He's making some good points.
Yeah, without all the ugly talk.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of ugly talk, but, I mean, he's sticking to his guns.
That wouldn't have flown in your church growing up.
Oh, no. No.
Which is funny. Yesterday, I heard somebody on the internet say Methodists think they're better. Methodists think they're better than Baptists and Southern Baptists. Is that true?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, because the Methodist is not a strict religion. It's like a really moderate to liberal leaning faith, especially more over the past few years, and a lot of them have split. A lot of these churches have split because of it, and they're not under the United Methodist flag anymore.
Okay.
But Southern Baptist is the King James version of the Bible. And a true Southern Baptist church is not going to have a bunch of guitars and drums and all of that kind of stuff. You got an organ and a piano, and that is it.
Yeah.
But it's more strict. Like the Southern Baptist is more strict. I always say that about Methodists. It's like anything's good in moderation.
Yeah.
Or okay in moderation. And sometimes that's not good.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want that. And I don't go to the Methodist church anymore.
Oh, you're done with that totally?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
So how do you identify? Yeah, really?
I don't know, because I don't want to tell people I'm non-denominational, because that's like holding up a liberal flag, It is. But that's the kind of church we've been going to. And the guy, actually, what we get more out of is we go to church. We've been going to this church, but we also watch this preacher out of Virginia in the Washington D.C. area, and he runs a non-denominational church. And both of these churches, the one I go to physically and the one we watch online, and that's where Jody gets her Bible study lessons from and all that. He does that through the week. Oddly enough, it's the senior pastor, and then the other pastors are his sons.
I was going to say
Yeah, both cases.
Yeah.
Like the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
But the one in Virginia that we watched is church is called Cornerstone Chapel, and the preacher's name is Gary Hamrick, Brother Gary Hamrick, and he's very conservative. Not in don't come in here wearing dungarees, women, like that. Conservative politically. Wow. So I like it. I like him.
Yeah.
But the Methodists, I always say that I grew up Southern Baptist. My wife grew up Methodist, and we got married. We compromised, and I became Methodist. And it was good for a long time. And there are some really good Methodist preachers and all of that. But I mean, there's just been where some of them wanted to go a little too liberal for my taste, which is liberal at all. It's too much for my taste.
Did your mom freak out when she found out you were going to become a Methodist?
She didn't freak out, but the main thing that a Southern Baptist is going to say when somebody says they're not going to be going to a Baptist church, they're going to go to a Methodist church. The first thing they say is, "Oh, well, they drink, don't they? They're like Catholics. They believe in drinking." That's what she said.
Down.
Yeah. Now
I get it though.
Right. And I know my mom doesn't agree, because she's like full-fledged. If she's not going to a Baptist church, she's going to her parents were Church of God, which is a branch of Pentecostal church. So she doesn't go to that kind of church, but she was raised that strict. So when they had the clown ministry day at the Methodist church, I was sitting there going, I'm glad my mama's not here.
Oh my gosh, clowns.
Yeah, it was fine though. I mean, it was just, clown ministry, they call it. And then the one day when the intern that they had at the church we used to go to, he was an intern, and he was Hispanic, and for some reason they said he has to give a sermon. He has to preach sometimes. Part of his internship. They put him up there to preach, and he did the whole sermon in Spanish.
What?
Yeah. And how many people knew Spanish in the crowd? Maybe his wife.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. So all of the church had to sit there while he's preaching in Spanish, not knowing a word of what he's saying.
And try not to make a face.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the preacher and the people, run the church felt like, they just gained moral authority. Because look what I did. Look at this. I gave him a platform and let him speak in his native tongue, and I'm bringing all of these other people into his culture for him. Meanwhile, they got dressed up for nothing.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
What are you getting out of that?
Yeah,
if you don't speak Spanish and somebody's preaching to you in Spanish, you're not getting anything out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have got breakfast at the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
You're not getting a thing out of that.
No.
Yeah, there were some people upset by that. They were pissed.
That's crazy.
Okay, so we have a crime story, a murder of a celebrity that has taken over the internets and the true crime world. So we're going to get into that next. Hang on.
TJ's podcast.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Winter is here, which means you're just going to stay inside and not do anything fun and exciting, right? No, that is wrong, because this year you're going to go to acetj.com/Gaston and see all of the incredible things that you can do right now in Gaston County. Everything is laid out for you, from things to do, to restaurants, to bars, to shopping, to unique weekend activities. And we'll get you ready for the spring and the summer with a list of all their great festivals. Find all of this and much more at acetj.com/Gaston.
If you're so frustrated because you're having to run around all the time, you're so busy, you feel like you're not getting your family something great to eat, then you need Culver's. It's the perfect thing for you. Always made to order, fresh, hot ingredients all day, every day.
And not only do they have the freshest ingredients all day, every day, but they are a part of the community. They're proud to be a part of the Indian Trail community, where they're under new ownership. Belmont, University area, Salisbury. Make them a part of your daily routine. Make it your new neighborhood spot. Short waits for the freshest food in town. Get details at acetj.com/Culver's.
Back to TJ's podcast.
Just got an alert, Riggins. Pope Francis taken to the hospital in Rome after suffering from the flu.
Yeah, he's been sick a lot lately.
You say the flu or flu?
Sick with the flu.
Yeah.
What did they say? Sick with flu?
Flu. And I think doctors say flu instead of the flu.
Well, I guess
because you wouldn't say the influenza.
Right, exactly.
That's like saying the cancer.
Yeah.
When people say went to the doctor, found out he's got the cancer.
Yeah. I might start using influenza, though. It sounds more serious to get out of stuff.
Right.
He's got influenza. Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been sick a lot lately.
How old is he? He's like
in his 80s.
80-something?
Yeah, 80-something. But he's got, I think he had a hip replaced not too long ago, and he's kind of been,
Why does he gotta have a hip replaced? Does he even walk anywhere?
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah. I think he prefers to walk.
But I mean, he's in 5Ks and stuff like that on the weekend. He's not out there doing. It's not like you're seeing him on the stair mill at the gym or anything.
True.
But I bet they do have a nice workout facility.
Yeah.
At what do you call it?
The Vatican.
The Vatican. Yeah.
They got gardens and a lot of green space, and he loves that.
Like tomatoes, peas,
sure.
Purple Hull peas.
Yeah.
All that.
Herbs and stuff. That was one of the there was this movie out on Netflix called The Two Popes, and it showed the relationship between Pope Francis and Pope Benedict.
Right.
Now, Pope Benedict was super conservative guy.
Awesome.
He was the guy that was like John Paul II's like right-hand man. And he did not the way they portray the relationship, he was looking at this guy like a hippie freak, and
because he is.
Pope Francis went and clipped some oregano out of the herb garden. He like unwrapped. He's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's herbs. Your gardener gave them to me." Pope Benedict is looking at him like, "Dude." Now that was a lot of it was fictionalized, but it gave a pretty good idea of kind of how their personalities are.
Right, but Benedict was a good one, and
he
Francis is not a good one.
They definitely represent two different sides of the Catholic Church for sure.
Right. Now I'm not Catholic, so I'm sure that I'm being offensive by commenting in that manner, but
No, they're world figures.
One of them was right, and the other one's a Marxist. So, all right. One of the things about this podcast. Well, by the way, make sure you check out Ace's podcast later today. That goes up at around at 3:00 on our app and all of that stuff. But one thing that this podcast will allow us to do is get into more stories like this, because it's all about things that I find interesting, because I'm a narcissist, obviously, and everything has to be about what I like. So there is a big story out of Australia, because there is a celebrity there. What's his name? Jesse Baird?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Jesse Baird is a gay, and so is his boyfriend Luke Davies, which would make sense. You know, there's a guy that I listen to who's a political commentator. His name's Dave Rubin, and he always says, "I don't have anything against gay people. My husband is gay." You get it?
Yeah.
Because he's gay, he's got a husband. And so that's what I'm saying. So this guy's boyfriend was gay too. Yeah. But they were found in these body bags, like a surfer bag, murked. They've been killed. And there's an update, because they say that the suspected murderer is a 28-year-old police officer named Beaumont Lamar Condon. And he used to date Baird. So now they're saying that it was a jealous rage, which, by the way, the most dangerous emotions that cause the most crimes. Number 2 is greed. And number 1 is jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
Not that greed's an emotion, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They said, "We're very confident that we have located Luke and Jesse." Were they in the same bag?
I think multiple bags.
Okay. Because they were surfer bags.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, because I don't surf.
Yeah, I pictured it being big enough to hold some kind of board, but obviously you don't carry a surfboard in a bag. They just called them surf bags.
Okay, so maybe duffel bag.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a big.
Yeah.
It's a big. So again, this is Australian language, so
Yeah.
we're having to, decipher it. And it says the police commissioner. Wait, this has to be a misprint. Karen Webb.
No, it's true.
There ain't no women police commissioners. Try again. You can do better. She said, "We're very confident that we have located Luke and Jesse. This information did not come with the assistance of the accused, for which we are very grateful, and I'm sure the families are very grateful." It did come with the assistance. So,
Yeah,
meaning
once
he told them where the bodies were, and that's actually so they must have been decomposed or disfigured so much that they wouldn't be sure just by looking at them.
Yeah.
If that's who they were.
And I think they were able to locate him because the guy started talking once he secured
Yeah.
a lawyer, I think.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Well, the lawyer probably said, we need to tell them what they want to know, because they may be getting some kind of plea deal out of it.
Yeah,
We don't need to go to court. That's the way it would be in America, probably.
Yeah.
If you know that there's so much evidence already,
Right.
then you're going to try to strike a deal. And what I don't understand is why so many people that you see in these crime shows and in movies and everything, why so many people fight for life in prison rather than go to trial and possibly get the death penalty. Would you want to die, or would you want to spend the rest of your life in prison?
That's tough. The right answer is, I guess, you shouldn't want to die. That's not you. Every human life is able to kind of rebound, I guess. I don't know. I haven't thought about it that deeply until just now. So
I would say
I don't know.
I'll do a plea, but I want the death penalty, and I just want you to wait a few months until you do it. You don't have to draw it out in appeals and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I want to have time to make sure I'm right with the Lord before I go into the chamber. But I wouldn't want to live. I guess it's like life in prison without the possibility of parole. Which, by the way, I don't think that should be a sentence either. If you're so bad that we can never trust you in society again, they should just go ahead and kill you. But I mean, I follow the WWJD rule.
Well, what would he do?
Yeah.
Did you hear how they kind of tracked the guy down? Do you have any of the? It's kind of crazy.
No, I have the story here, but
Okay.
what are you talking about specifically?
That the guy that they say killed the ex-boyfriend and the new lover, he had used a gun
Oh yeah.
that they like did a ballistic test on it, and they found out that it came back to a gun that he had then registered at his own, because he was a police officer.
Yeah.
He had checked the gun back into the station. I guess they
Right.
can't.
He checked it out when he was off duty.
Yeah.
He went in and somehow managed to check the gun out, and they gave it to him, and then he checked it back in.
Because Australia has those like strict gun rules, so I guess
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's how it works. So, but he had checked it out and checked it back in like a library book.
Right. So he committed the murder, allegedly still. He committed the murder with his police gun.
Yeah. You believe that?
Man. So these poor guys, I mean, it was just a jilted lover kind of thing.
You've always said that though for years. Like, what happens when there's jealousy when it's two guys in a relationship, and how that's different than the jealousy that exists between a man and a woman.
Yeah, I would think far more often it's physical.
Physical.
Yeah, it could get physical because you got two guys just fighting. But I don't know.
And this
It's been a long time since I've been in a fight with my gay lover, so I don't.
True.
I don't remember what happened.
But the guy that allegedly killed the ex-boyfriend apparently like tried to fake text messages by saying like, I'm moving to Perth, even after he knew that his ex-boyfriend was dead and all that stuff. So,
And you got to imagine he's a terrible cop.
you think?
Well, yeah. Because if I was going to commit a crime, and it had something to do with radio, I would know enough about radio, or I do know enough about radio to think about what they're going to look for, what I need to cover up, what I need. I mean, he's going in there, and I guess it was a semi-automatic weapon, because they found they describe it as a cartridge and a projectile where they did the ballistics. So that means he dropped an entire bullet and left it behind.
Yeah.
Not a spent casing, but a whole bullet. Careless.
Yeah, it was definitely careless. But it was like a crime of passion.
Yeah, but again, you get all jealous and you're not thinking straight.
That's crazy.
I get that way over you sometimes.
Do you?
I'm very possessive of you, Riggins.
Enough to kill?
Yeah.
Well, you could have me.
If
I don't
somebody tried to take you away,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know who you'd have to kill. Maybe my dog. He's the only one who's got my heart.
No, I'm just mean if somebody took you away from me, I would be up on both of y'all.
If Jody cheated on you and kept it a secret, would you be mad enough to kill?
No. Would kill her?
Anybody, him
No.
or her?
No. Now that doesn't mean I wouldn't be mad enough to seek revenge
Yeah, well,
in
that's what I'm
other
saying.
ways, but I wouldn't kill.
Kill.
No. Well, unless she was messing around with a terrorist.
And it just worked out.
I mean, hell, if she's having a damn affair with Osama bin Laden, and I found out about it, I'd kill his ass. I mean, she's over there, you know, in the middle of damn Hamas. Got her a boyfriend running around. I wouldn't kill her, but I'd damn sure kill him. But
sure.
I'd probably do that anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But especially messing with a man's wife.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, you just gotta look at the situation. You see Jody going, I have something to tell you. I'm falling in love. You haven't been paying enough attention to me. Take me for granted.
Who is this jerk?
We don't get to go on big vacations like we used to. So you remember when I took that girls' trip to the Middle East? I met a man.
Tall and handsome.
Like, what? Yeah. He's moving over here. Coming right up through the Mexican border. And I'm going to meet him in Texas. We're going to get married.
Give me his name. What's his name? That's so funny.
But you don't watch a lot of these crime shows like I do you?
No, not at all.
And then one thing that bothers me is that, you know, I've been doing that for a long, long time, way before it was popular. But it became popular so much with women. Now it seems like I'm just sitting around doing woman things.
Yeah.
Watching these crime shows. It's become feminine.
Yeah.
But I was the first.
Yeah, but you don't have a problem doing anything else that's considered feminine.
You mean like sitting down to pee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Especially at night.
Yeah, sure. But it is feminine. You're right.
Mm-hmm. God.
And why is it?
I hate that.
Why is it feminine?
Because women don't just find something that they like. They find something that they like and they just are so thrilled with it because their emotions are always, you know, big. And they're big in a great way a lot of times, and sometimes they're not. And so you combine that with always needing to talk. So when one of them finds out about something that's new, that's really, really enjoyable, she'll tell two friends, and then they'll tell two friends, and so forth and so on. So it gets out. Hey, this is what we do now. We watch crime shows.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, have you seen this one? Have you heard that podcast? Have you done that? And it just, you know, it just gets passed around until now. This is what women do.
That reminds me of on Saturday when Jody was describing the Scandival situation. I've never seen her more passionately talk about a topic in my life.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, leaning over the table. And who's she explaining the Scandival thing to? Jenny and Michael?
She was explaining it to them, and then I started, when I saw what she was doing, I started videoing it.
Yeah.
And Michael was sitting beside me, and Jody was completely turned to them. And then she stopped talking. And then he saw that I was trying to get a video, and he said, Now, Jody, explain that again. Who's what? Whatever. So that was more, being able to capture that was more him than me.
Yeah, but
Than it was me.
The way she was describing it, like you talk about like sharing those things with other women.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a piece of shit.
And then she goes, I didn't say he was a piece of shit. I said he's a shit. He's a shit. Like he's a little shit.
Is that
Like, was
better
that
than-
different?
Yeah,
I mean,
guess.
you know, whatever.
I didn't call him a piece of shit. I said he's a shit.
And you said there were a lot of people that viewed that?
It was the most popular video of the day.
Huh. God, I ain't telling her that.
Yeah. Well, it's like the women love to hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't see any guys commenting underneath like, "Oh, this is a great, perfect recap of the situation."
You know what? You know what else women love to hear? When you bring my beer, brush my hair.
They love
Don't
that.
you, ladies? Yeah. Drop a comment below if you love that. I know you do. There's another story that that we have to discuss because it's just so ridiculous. And I also think it's funny. So we'll do that next.
More of TJ's podcast is coming up.
We're here with our old friend, Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, you just told me something very important that you wanted me to say, but I don't remember what it was. So can you say it for me? It was something about numbers and percentages and things that I don't understand.
This is the best way for loan officers to keep the majority of the revenue that they earn every year, just like a real estate agent.
Got it.
You know, real estate agents pay what we call a cap in industry. Normally, it's around $16,000 to $20,000, and then after they pay in their commission to reach that for the company, they keep 100% of it. So we're going to do the same thing at Richard Toccato Companies. You as a loan officer are going to pay us a cap of $16,000, and everything else you keep. Everything else you earn is yours. So real quick, an example: if you make $200,000 in a year, I'm going to take $16,000 of it, and then you're going to keep $184,000. The traditional model that loan officers work on now, they do $200,000 in revenue, and they keep about $80,000 or $100,000.
Really?
So this is going to change the game. We're going to do what other real estate firms have been doing for years, but we're doing it on the mortgage broker side.
And this is something that's not being done anywhere. It's totally different.
Totally different, not being done anywhere else. We're also going to have revenue share. So if you bring loan officers to us, you're going to make money off. You're going to make money from a downline, just like EXP or Keller Williams.
Wow.
So it's you got to check it out. Just go to workwithrichard.info. It's simple. Workwithrichard.info. See if it's for you. Give me a call. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, you want me to try to say it?
Yeah, you say it.
Check it out. Workwithrichard.info.
Hi, I'm Thomas Davis, and let me tell you why I'm a proud member of Team Neogenics.
If your nagging pain is keeping you from being active, do something about it. Join the long list of pros and average Joes who have found relief with our stem cell and regenerative therapies.
After trying all the others, I decided to try Neogenics. My knees and shoulders haven't felt this good since my college days. If you want to get back in the game, do what I did. Visit Neogenics, where all you have to lose is pain.
Our nation's second president, John Adams, always slept on the left side of the bed. He believed this would increase his chances of having positive dreams and a more successful next day. That's why every mattress we sell here at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress includes a left side.
And for those that prefer waking up on the right side of the bed, our mattresses come with one of those too.
This President's Day, you can save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Welcome back, world, to TJ's podcast.
Oh, you proud TJ fanaticos. Love ya. Love ya. Riggins, did you just take a bong rip right before we came back onto the podcast?
I got a homemade bong.
Hey, do people call a glass, one of those little glass pipes that you put the bud into, and you find them in places like where they make them in Asheville and places like that, little arts and crafts things that people smoke the weed out of. Is that called a bong, or is that called a glass pipe?
It's a bowl.
A bowl, that's right. It's a bowl.
A bong, it looks like, if you've never seen one, it kind of looks like a flower vase.
Yeah, and it's got water in it, right?
Yeah, a lot of them do. You put the water at the bottom, and then the weed kind of goes in the side, and then some bongs have an ice catcher in it. So like halfway up the bong, it's got a little stopper, and you put ice in there. So when the smoke filters up through the ice, it gives you like a cold hit, dude, and it takes away some of the harshness of the breathing in all that smoke. The difference between hitting a bowl and a bong is one huge rip of weed, whereas a bowl, you could smoke just a little bit. You could take a little hit.
Okay. Well, I need to learn all this stuff, because if I'm going to be trying to chase Joe Rogan in the podcast world, he's high a lot, right? Doesn't he do a lot of? Doesn't he have people come on there like Elon Musk smoking dope and stuff?
Yeah.
We need to do that. Yeah. Who could we get in here to smoke dope? Probably the other offices wouldn't like it either in the building.
No, probably not.
What if we just passed around a dab pen?
You could do that.
Does that work?
Yeah, you could do that.
I don't know who I mean, I'm old. I don't have any friends that go around smoking dope together and stuff.
I don't know. It's getting more popular up in the suburbs. Like everybody's doing gummies now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's different than just, blazing it up.
Yeah, well, and it's also a big difference when you've just got those like disposable pens. It seems much less druggy than like
Right.
packing up a bowl and using a lighter. This is like, oh, it's fun. It's charges up and it's got a little blinking light on it. It's not really drugs.
It's a gummy.
Yeah.
But what if we just had some people come in and we could share one of those D9 seltzers, not get the calories, the whole thing.
Stay skinny and
Yeah,
we could do that.
good. My daughter, her name's Lainey. She's 23 and she lives in Nashville. In case people haven't noticed or kept up with anything, women like Nashville.
Yeah.
And she just got her first real job, and she's working for a liquor distributor. Her degree is in marketing and all that kind of stuff and PR. So she seems to be liking it, but she sends like pictures of these products they have at the office that they give them that they need to try and they need to know about. And one of them looked like one of those weed seltzers.
What?
I think I don't want my baby girl up there doing weed seltzers.
No, man.
I don't know even how you smoke that.
What?
But it wasn't. She said it's not what it was.
Okay.
But
That's what I would tell my dad too. It's not that.
but she listens to the podcast. This podcast, and she said she really likes it, but I was wondering if she just said that because she loved me.
You probably.
Yeah, I think so too. But
Which is fine.
But I'm trying to get a podcast going of her, like her hosting a podcast, and I let you hear that little demo part of that, Riggins. And I don't even know if I've been so busy. I don't know if I went back and told her what you said. That you said you liked it.
It was great. I didn't like it. I loved it.
Yeah. So, Lainey, let's remind me to move forward with getting your podcast going.
Yeah, it was really good.
I should have told her. Because that would mean a lot more coming from you than if it were coming from me.
Well, you're the podcast expert.
Yeah, I know, but she's, my kids have always been like, Riggins is different because you're cool and you're a lot younger than I am. So, both of my kids have always, I think they probably text you more than they do me in a day.
I talk to them a lot. They're pretty funny.
Yeah, they are, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, Lainey Riggins said your podcast is great.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we need to get on it.
Yeah.
And one thing that helps is that she's pretty.
Yeah. She's very pretty.
So, my son said that one day. He goes, it's not fair. I mean, girls can be successful streamers a lot easier than men can.
It's true.
Like those that just sit in a bikini in a hot tub and talk and,
Yeah.
What are they called? Are they
streamers?
I know, but is there a certain level that a certain title that they have, like
booby
bikini
streamers? I don't know what it is.
bikini streamers.
Bikini
something.
streamers. Yeah, maybe. But it's just we like looking at beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
You can go back in history. We like looking at pretty things, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah, I know. Which is why so many people have just glommed on to this one.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty.
That's it.
I'm so pretty. All right, so there's a 33-year-old man in Florida. His name's Robert Whitaker, and he's been sentenced to 7 years in prison because he was arrested last year, and in the car dash cam, it caught him reaching around his body and messing with something. It looked like around his buttocks area. And he had hidden bags of fentanyl in his, let's see a nice way to put this, in his dirt box.
His disgusting.
So,
ugh.
What he was doing is getting the fentanyl out of his rectum, and then stuffing it down into the seat of the cruiser, like where the seat belt is in the seat.
Yeah.
And he jammed 32 grams in there. I don't know how much that is because I'm an American and I don't use the metric system. I refuse. So I don't know how much 32 grams is, but is that a lot?
32 grams of weed is a lot, but I don't know how that translates into pills. or whatever fentanyl comes in. What is it? A pill?
I think so, or is it just a little powder?
Dust?
Who knows?
I don't know.
But he was caught because he didn't get it all. And at the jail, they did a full cavity search and, quote, a chunk of purple powder fell out of his anus, end quote. The cop car was so messed up because it had this fentanyl dust in it and all. And from, the problem that, the mess that came out of his crinkled star.
Gross.
The car had to be taken out of commission for 3 months for them to clean it.
The fentanyl had got
Yeah, and the doo-doo. I mean, you put those two together, and I wonder how did he have it up in there? Was it in individual little baggies? I don't know. Because, I mean, I always wonder what kind of a dire situation must someone be in if they're, using their rectum as a suitcase or a bag. You know what I mean? Like you got to be, because that's not something you just do. Like, just say if you want to sneak in some airplane bottles to the concert.
Yeah, right.
You're not putting them in your butt. You're like, oh, I got a great place. I mean, it doesn't, put it in the same category with, hiding it in your sock or your boot.
Yeah. He might have done it before. He might just be a mule.
Oh.
And now he's about to get charged with like distribution of a controlled substance. And he's like, oh no, I'll just put it back up the butt.
I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, certainly he's done it before. I don't know. That's not something like you can do in like a split second. Like,
yeah. But when the cops in the front seat start going, smells, what is that? Why is it smelling like that?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you could put anything up there and then take it out without it smelling, could you?
Yeah, he was in the car when he took it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you even do that if you're handcuffed? He must be a contortionist.
Yeah.
He missed his calling.
And then he like farts out purple powder. It's like My Little Pony. Like, it's like, what the hell is that?
Well, a lot of people think the only reason to have fentanyl is if you're trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But that's not all. I mean, the killings are accidental, aren't they?
That's what I've heard. That somebody thinks they're buying Xanax, but it's got fentanyl in it. And I don't know why the people are putting fentanyl in it. I guess it's cheaper or something that you can.
But I always thought it was giving you a different type of high.
I don't
like
know.
An extra. But the only time you hear about it, like you never hear anybody say, "Oh man, I had some good fentanyl last night."
Yeah,
you don't even hear that in movies.
People aren't doing it recreationally. It doesn't seem. The only stories you hear about, people overdosing on fentanyl.
So why would they want it, especially if it had been in somebody's tuchus?
Your fentanyl smells like shit. I'm not buying from you anymore. I'm definitely finding a new fentanyl dealer if it.
But you don't snort it. You can't snort straight fentanyl. It'll kill you immediately, right?
I don't know.
Because I always thought that about when they would hide the cocaine in their butt. Now somebody's going to be smelling that. That's going to go up somebody's nose.
I want a discount on my cocaine.
Yeah. It's like when people take a nice cigar and they start smelling it. You can't tell anything about a cigar by smelling it. It's
really?
No. But they'll do that.
Sure, that's what you do when somebody gives you a cigar. You smell it. I didn't realize that.
I smell it because it smells good. I just like the scent of it. But it's not going to tell you anything about the quality or the taste of a cigar. You can't smell it and go, oh, okay, well, I know this one is going to be mild and I'm going to like this.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was a cigar aficionado way before it got popular.
You haven't smoked a cigar in a long time, have you?
Usually whenever my friend Mark comes to visit, I'll smoke one with him.
My dad's dying. They've got a cigar club at the community he lives in. He's dying to join them. And my mom has put the kibosh on that.
But you don't inhale cigars. That's what I always say. You don't inhale a cigar. So if you have one every now and then, it's not a big deal. Does he want to smoke them every day?
I don't know how often they meet, but he's like romanticized this idea of like guys getting around drinking, in a clubhouse and smoking a cigar. I mean, he talks about it like romance. And I think my mom has said like the smell or something. She's just not going to deal with
Oh, it's
that.
not because of his health.
No, I don't think so.
But I mean, you take a shower, it's gone. You know, he goes to the cigar club, comes in, and
part of me thinks that she just doesn't like it because it's something he's going to do. Another thing that he's going to do without her, and I think that's part of it.
There's a cigar place here that, you know, you go, you buy the cigar, and then you can sit around and smoke cigars on these couches and stuff like that. Jody and my little friend Jenny and handsome husband Michael, they love going there. Really? They love it. And they act like it's just a selfless move on their part. Say, hey, you want to go and have a cigar at that place? We can go do that. So then that counts as something that they did for me. Like, we don't even smoke cigars, but we went to that place for you.
Why do they like going?
They like the atmosphere and the drinks and the, you know. And Jody likes smelling cigars.
She does?
Yeah.
Oof.
Not right in her face, but, you know, when you walk in, and it's good cigars that you're smoking. But I couldn't smoke multiple cigars a day. Even when I smoked them all the time, 1 or 2 a day would be the most, because it lingers with you. And I had actually been in that place one day, and I smoked a cigar, and then you know, they let you get on their Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So I was just kind of hanging out, having a beer, and I watched a guy go in there and smoke 2 cigars back to back, like long ones, and he was on the phone doing business the whole time. Smoked one, put it out, grabbed another one, lit it, smoked it.
I'm actually getting my mouth as well because I feel like I'm going to gag just thinking about that. How much? Ugh.
Well, you know, Rush Limbaugh was like that. He would smoke. He would have I think he called it a 1 o'clock cigar every day during his show. He'd have his 1 o'clock cigar, and then he would have others throughout the day, different, you know, flavors and strengths and everything, you know, depending on what time it was and whether it was an after dinner cigar. See, I never got into it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's too expensive if you're trying to do that. You think that may be why your mom doesn't want to do it, because it's going to be expensive to have nice cigars all the time? No, they don't care about money.
They don't care about money.
Huh. They spend up all your money.
They did. They are. They are. Spend it all, I guess.
You know, Jody's dad has had a lot of health problems lately, and I keep going, hey, these copays are killing me. You're spending up my inheritance on all these copays.
Exactly. Get it together. For real.
Gosh.
How would what's a nice cigar cost?
You can get good premium cigars for, you know, some of them as low as like $6, $7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But
it's like wine. You can get like a nice bottle,
right?
For just a couple bucks.
If you're just going to pop in and or sit down and smoke a cigar that you don't want it to, you know, taste like ass.
Yeah. Is a Cohiba, is that still like the gold standard for like good cigars?
Yeah, I guess, but it's just like anything else. There are premium cigars that have different, like the tobacco and the way it's treated and the way it's wrapped and all that makes the flavors different. So I don't like Cohibas because I'm more of a medium-bodied cigar person, and Cohibas are usually full body, so it means they're stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he still does, but when I first started, you know, when Ace was smoking cigars, I said, hey, you can try this, you know, smoke cigars. We were in Huntsville living at the time in the late 90s. And he always liked a more full-bodied cigar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't know if he still does, but, well, why does that make sense?
Everything, I mean,
like
the energy drink he drinks is like plutonium TNT for your brain, and everything is like 10 out of 0 through 10. Everything he does seems to be like at a 10.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he would want like full flavor, ripping your nuts off.
But yeah, your dad could do that, and you know how we say those things like when do you do something that makes you feel rich? Like this morning, I said I bought 2 big things of coffee for the office because they were on sale yesterday. But when I left the store, I felt rich because I bought 2 of them. I used to feel that way whenever I would buy a carton of cigarettes when I was a smoker when I was young. But if you were ever to buy a box of cigars, that's how you knew you were rich. You felt rich.
Cigar box, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I would never do that because I didn't smoke enough of them to want the same one that often. I always wanted a different mixture.
You don't have, because like when you smoke cigarettes, you have a brand of cigarettes.
Right. Yeah, it's not like that with cigars.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Now you can have a favorite, but you're not going to just have one brand that you stick to all the time. Mostly you wouldn't. But either way, I need to, if I'm going to compete or even come close to the success that Joe Rogan has on podcast world, I'm gonna have to start smoking dope, eating raw meat. Doesn't he eat raw meat or something?
Eats liver, I think.
Yeah, raw
elk.
liver.
He's big into elk.
I don't know.
It's the best protein you can have.
Yeah, I gotta learn the MMAs.
Yeah. Badass.
I got a lot. I already got the shaved head. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah. You'd also have to bring on people that are not of the same political affiliation as you are.
Oh,
He
I'm
does
not
that a
doing
lot.
that. I'm not doing that shit. No way. Because I avoid those people in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I want to bring them in here when I'm trying to have fun?
Yeah, well.
You know, have to smell them. You know, leftism has a smell. You can tell.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. Right away. I can smell it on them. Pass them in the grocery store, be like, watch, they're about to go to the parking lot and get in a Subaru. I know they are. All right, well, I'm trying to work it where we can have a guest tomorrow.
Nice.
But then again, I tried that yesterday and it didn't work because Cubby couldn't do it.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of who you were going to bring on?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, this is just...
See, and that's the problem. I don't think ahead enough on this kind of stuff. I'm not a planner. I don't know if you know that, Riggins. I'm not really a planner. So...
Well, it should be somebody you're interested in, because if you're not interested in it, then it's not going to be good.
Right.
So don't feel pressure to bring somebody on just
I'm
because
not.
you think you should.
I'm not.
You have to really be into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But I just know that I have a rule with this podcast that my wife will never be on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I can't stand her. No. It's because we've already established what her deal is. She's become the main draw of TJ and Jody's House podcast.
Sure.
And those small town adventure videos.
Yeah.
So we got that. I don't want to, start watering down what she's already established,
Yeah.
and just have her pop it in all the time.
I understand that.
Plus, I'm trying to get a break.
Hell yeah.
But if somebody wants to pay to have her come in here, I'll be like, yeah, come on. She'll be here for 3 hours. She'll come clean your house.
Yeah. I'm the new face of Dunkin' Donuts. Sure.
Uh-huh. I don't know, though, what kind of product she could endorse.
Oh, teeth whitening.
Oh, yeah, she would.
Crest.
But I bet you there's not a teeth whitening product that could get teeth as white as what hers naturally are.
No, who cares if she actually uses it? But she's like, you want to get white teeth like mine?
Yeah.
Try Close Up. That might be more our budget than Crest.
Remember AIM? It's back. People say, how do you keep your teeth so white? And I say, with Gleam. My grandmother introduced me to Gleam when I was a little girl. Was Gleam a thing when you were young, or is it already gone by
I
then?
don't remember Gleam. I do remember Close Up and Mentadent and things
I
like
think
that.
Gleam was the Prel of toothpaste.
My mom talks about Prel.
Yeah.
Which I think is still around.
But hairdressers always talk about how strong it is. Like if you have, if the hairdresser got your hair too much of the color that you wanted, like it's too far, they would say, go home and shampoo it with Prel, and they'll strip some of it out, and then it'll be where you want it.
Damn.
Uh-huh. It's pretty, though. It's green.
Yeah, I remember.
Now, I wouldn't hit a dog in the ass with Pert.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
We had that growing up.
I'm pretty sure that was the very first shampoo conditioner combination.
It smelled good.
Yeah. And my dad's name was Bert. So it's kind of weird if Bert and Pert.
Reminds me of my daddy.
Bert, pick up some Pert while you're at the store.
Don't you dare buy Pert. It reminds me of my no good.
I can't never smell it. I can't never smell it no more because it just takes me right back to my childhood. Makes me think of my daddy. All right, so we're finished. That went fast. I like our little conversations, Riggins. Yeah. We don't get to talk enough. And when we do, it's usually on the phone and you've been in the beers and we're just silly with each other.
What is this? Being in the beers. It's the new narrative about me.
But that's what you do when you get home, isn't it?
No.
What time do you start drinking beer?
Late in the afternoon.
Like 1?
No.
How late?
2.
That's always I try to time it where I think you've had a couple of beers where you won't be mad that I'm calling.
Can you tell that I've had a couple beers?
No, not at all.
Can you tell that I've been bonging a couple beers?
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for being a TJ Fanatico. More TJ's podcast next.